Have you there?
No, it's really. I can just about hear you though.
Yeah, they always say that, don't they?
Yeah. How about now?
No.
We're pushing your levels up, Piperis. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Good. How's your new office?
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. Well, look, don't worry about hearing me too much. I'll just shout at you. We can hear you okay.
Yeah, you sound great.
Yeah, so let me just introduce you. It's Piperis Filipeos, yeah, of You Targeting.
Yep.
And Pip, you rang us at the end of the show last week with some very interesting stuff, so I thought I'd get you back on and give you actually some time to talk about it. You went to the social media forum, yeah?
Yeah, that was it, in Olympia in London.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us all about it? What made you go, what it was about, give us some background to what it was about and what happened there and who was there.
Right, brilliant. Well, yeah, like you said, it was last Tuesday at Olympia in London. I'm not sure who organised it, but there was a lot of top names there, including David Parfect from Facebook, he's the UK sales manager, which was a very interesting talk. Basically, just to reiterate some of the things that were there, and some of the things we found interesting were a lot of the statistics that I'm sure you saw coming out from my Twitter. For example, there was, I think I said this last week as well, that only 30% of businesses are using LinkedIn.
Right.
Obviously, you're a big LinkedIn user. I've seen you use that a lot.
Sure.
But I know obviously B2B is well, not that 30% is probably B2B, and I would urge anyone out there, especially in B2B, to go on to LinkedIn. There was a lot of talk about how LinkedIn in particular can help small businesses.
I totally agree with you there, Pip. I mean, one person put it to me this way, that LinkedIn is actually Facebook for grown-ups.
Yeah.
The thing is, Piperis, so, as a small business myself, it's time-consuming, to do Twitter, to do Facebook, to do LinkedIn. We know we should be doing it, but how do you suggest a method of doing it quickly?
Unfortunately, Jules, there's no kind of quick and painless way of doing it. All of these things, including your website and Twitter and everything, do take some time. It's just, I think what is important, and what was mentioned as well at the Social Media World Forum last week, is that anything you are doing in terms of online, whether that's a blog or you've got a Twitter account or a Facebook page or LinkedIn, is this: don't just follow the crowd and be in it because you think or you feel you should be in it. Instead, do it as part of an overall strategy and actually commit some time and even money, if it needs to do that properly. And that way, instead of having, I can't remember who it was last week that said this, instead of creating a social media plan or a strategy, create a marketing strategy that includes social media in it.
Yeah, sure.
And then that way you should be able to find it a lot easier to find the time. And also, not only that, it should be easier to measure your return on investment as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A lot of people don't look at that, do they? They start doing stuff and they don't know whether it works or not, or which bit of it works.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. And I mean, there was a lot of great companies there exhibiting, which helped with all of this and kind of measuring ROI and just generally keeping a track of your social media presence.
Right.
A lot of them, however, were aiming and kind of catering for the larger businesses with fees of starting at about £200 a month, if not more.
Right.
However, there is a company that I use and I kind of recommend, called All Facebook Stats, and although that's only for Facebook, it is free.
Right.
What was it called, Piperis? All Facebook. What was it called?
All Facebook Stats, I believe.
Okay.
I believe it's .com.
Okay, that's interesting. So, in general, the show at Olympia, I mean, how well attended was it? Was it busy?
Yeah, it was pretty good. There wasn't as many exhibitors as I thought there'd be. A lot of the exhibitors, I mean, probably I'd say 70% were offering services such as what I just said, tracking, conversion tracking, ROI, measuring ROI, and things like that. There was one particular company, which I can't remember the name of, unfortunately. I've lost. Actually, I didn't get given a business card. But what they did is they conduct surveys every 4 months, I believe it was, quite a few countries around the world, about 15 countries around the world, and it's really interesting seeing all this information. And they've built a system where you can tap in, set your kind of demographic, and even drill down to whether income levels, age, whether they've got children, what they watch on telly, really nitpick and see exactly how they use the internet, what times a day they use the internet, and what they use it for, and what their habits are online. And it was a great bit of kit.
Right.
It's quite spooky,
I'll have to find
isn't it?
that out, and you can put it on your website.
Wow, that's pretty impressive stuff. I mean, in general, I don't know how you feel about this. One of the things, I mean, I'm a social media tart, so I mean, I'm probably as bad at this as everybody else. But one of the things that I do try and encourage people with is to remember it is social media.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so
definitely.
many people tweet their business links, and that's it. But I think you need to, have a human face to it too, and have just a general relationship building thing. I mean, I tend to treat social media as online networking, where I just chat to people, whether they're potential customers or not. It's just nice to chat to people, and in the chatting to them, you get your message out there. As you may know, I actually manage a group on LinkedIn which is called Kent. Imaginatively.
Yeah, it's a really rare name.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I don't know how we thought of that. We had a huge brainstorming session and came up with...
racked your
Kent,
brains.
Yeah. But we've got over 1,250 members on that in Kent. But one of the things that I would like to see happen on it more is it can be a bit slow. Yeah. So there's loads of threads on there, but it does, it's not dynamic, and it would be nice if it was a bit more dynamic. But apart from that,
yeah.
What do you mean
I think
slow
that's
in
probably
response?
because there's so comparative to Facebook and Twitter. There's so little businesses on there that could be on LinkedIn, and that's probably why you're seeing that as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just to answer Jules' question, I had a thread on there about I made an announcement when we hit the 1,000th follower.
Yeah.
And I made that announcement 3 months ago. And this week,
And you're
two
just-
people responded.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of Twitter, and that's
Yeah.
why I love Twitter,
Yeah.
because I'm a Gemini and I like things that are fast. And
Oh, yeah.
if you make a comment...
I thought you were English.
Oh, don't start. But if you make a comment and somebody comes straight back to you, then it's funny. But again, if you lose that sort of 3 months, then
it
you
kind of
lose
loses
that momentum.
its impact. Yeah. So, what were your overall impressions of the social media forum, Piperis?
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, they're holding a few. There was one earlier last month, I believe, in America and the States. There was the one obviously last week in London. They've got one in a few weeks' time in Asia, and there's another one possibly, I believe, in somewhere else, possibly South Africa. I'm not sure,
Right.
but there's definitely the one in Asia. I mean, so they do seem to be quite popular,
Right.
and a lot of the people there were no surprise there were people into and working with social media. Still, quite a small percentage of people there were small business owners there just to find out more.
Right.
However, it was good to see that there were kind of sole traders and small businesses attending just to help themselves, really.
Right.
Piperis, did you see that? I don't know if you noticed online yesterday. There was that swishing with a P.
About what? Sorry, I
The
didn't hear that.
swishing with a P that was happening yesterday. The virus that was going through Twitter yesterday, where
Yeah, I picked up on that. I wasn't overly active on Twitter yesterday because I was at the office, but yeah, I did pick that up a bit.
It's hit me twice now, but people that you know really well say, look at this link, and because you trust the person, you do go on it like I would with a business bunker link, and it got me, and I just very, very quickly changed my password. Is it enough just to change your password, or do you have to set up the whole account again?
I think in most cases it should be okay to just change your password. However, you need to make sure that your computer is protected in general, and whether you're using Norton or a free like AVG or something, you need to make sure that nothing is left on your computer, I would say.
Okay.
But any link or anything like that, unless you've authorised it and unless you know what you're typing your password into or you know what application you're accessing, I'd avoid it if possible.
But if it's someone you know, then you can't. They've been got.
Do it. Yeah. Look, Piperis, thanks for that. I've got one last question for you. I mean, you were talking about the social media forum going on a world tour and being in the States and Asia and stuff like that. Do you think there's scope for one in Kent?
Definitely. I mean, wherever there's wherever there's businesses that are using social media, there's definitely scope for one of them. So I don't know. Are you making an offer? We could do one together.
I think we should.
Yeah,
What do you reckon?
I had a feeling you were going that way.
Why not?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, around here, there's plenty of us using it, smaller businesses. I mean, I told you last week as well. We've started managing Whitefriars' social media as well. So, all types of businesses are using it now.
Cool. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. Why
Well,
not?
for the moment, Piperis, thank you very much for joining us on The Bunker. It's been lovely to have you on. Thank you for informing us about that show. It makes it really interesting to know what these things are like.
Yeah.
So, for the moment, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And there'll be a blog post following this up with loads more information. So yeah, keep an eye out for that as well.
Okay, your website is on the Business Bunker website, so people will be able to find it. But if you're looking for Pip, it's you targeting, and his website is on our website, and we'll also link to his blog. For the moment, Piperis, thank you so much for joining us on The Bunker, and I'll talk to you soon, huh?
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Have a good afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
He's a bright young chap, you know.
Yeah, another young Kent entrepreneur.